It's time again to recap the latest news from the solar industry compiled by the American Solar Energy Society. I'm Jay Warmke with SolarPVTraining.com, and this is what's happening in the wonderful world of solar for the week of October 29th. In conjunction with Consolidated Edison, Sunrun, the nation's largest provider of solar energy services and installations for residential marketplace, successfully activated the largest virtual power plant in the state of New York, comprised of more than 300 solar plus storage residential systems. The demonstration project synchronizes the discharging of participating batteries on residential homes to reduce the stress on the grid during times of high energy use. Sunrun receives an upfront payment from the utility, then they in turn offer discounted home battery installation in exchange for those residents participating in the 10-year program. Participants get the benefit of using their own stored power on their home, but they also receive utility bill credits for the excess energy they supply to the grid during periods of peak energy demand. According to data from Level 10 Energy, the price of power from solar continues to rise. The typical power purchase agreement, or PPA, is currently at $56.58 for solar and $65.63 per megawatt hour for wind. This is about twice the amount, or twice the price that was paid for power from solar and wind systems just 4 years ago. Rising prices were attributed to increased costs due to tariffs that are currently on solar panels, interconnection backlogs that can take as long as 5 years, as well as supply chain disruptions for key components such as breakers and switches. Power purchase agreement pricing is the cost that corporations pay to solar and wind developers to purchase electricity from their installations, and demand for this clean energy from corporations just continues to rise. For the 12th month in a row, solar energy has dominated all of the new forms of electricity that are being added to the grid. During the month of August, solar energy alone accounted for 99.6% of all of the new energy generation that was added to the grid during that month. And during the first 8 months of 2024, renewable energy accounted for about 90% of all of the new energy added to the grid, with the remainder coming really from two sources. The first was a long-delayed nuclear generating plant in Georgia that is adding about 5% of the new generating capacity to the grid, and then the rest, about 4%, coming from natural gas. The combined capacities of just solar and wind now constitute more than 1/5, or about 21% of the nation's total available installed utility-scale generating capacity. Wind is at 11.74% and solar at 9.21%. However, approximately 30% of the U.S. solar capacity is in the form of small-scale rooftop systems that aren't reflected in this national data from FERC. Including these residential systems into the mix brings the share provided by solar and wind closer to about 1/4 of all of the nation's energy generating sources. And with the inclusion of hydropower, which is about 7.7%, biomass at 1.1%, and geothermal at 0.3%, renewables now claim a little over 30% of the share of the U.S. utility scale generating capacity. Utility-scale systems are governed by NERC, or the North American Electric Reliability Corporation's critical infrastructure protection cybersecurity requirements. But smaller projects, residential systems, commercial systems, and the like, have no similar standardized rules to adhere to until now. The UL 2941 standard focuses on cybersecurity measures that need to be included in every inverter to prevent widespread internal software crashes or hacks from outside entities. The standard lists 10 different domains that the products must address to be listed as 2941 compliant, including access control, cryptography, and encryption. The residential solar market is especially susceptible to solar attacks, or to cyber attacks, sorry, because of the limited number of inverter manufacturers that dominate this marketplace. In 2023, the top 5 residential inverter suppliers represented 96% of the market. This streamlined market means that any software update errors or hacks could affect a large segment of the installed base. The Pennsylvania Turnpike is making a major venture into solar power. The agency is advertising for proposals from developers to install solar fields on 15 sites where the agency owns excess land. The plan is for the Turnpike to buy all of the electricity generated from these sites for 20 years, and then at the end of that period of time, either upgrade them and continue to buy electricity from them or restore the sites back to their original condition. And that is the news from the solar industry for this week. We'll see you next week.